You
This
ready?
conference will now be recorded.
The time being 6:31 p.m. Going to call to order the Tilton Planning Board for Tuesday, April 13th, 2021. The public is encouraged to participate remotely with GoToMeeting using your smartphone, tablet, or computer. And you will find that on the website, the Tilton website. You can also dial in using your phone toll-free at 1-877-309-2073. The code is 493-898-909. Please try to log in as soon as possible when you get online. In case you run into technical difficulties, email web@tiltonnewhampshire.org, and they will monitor you during this meeting. Okay. First order of business tonight is to nominate officers for the coming year. Those include chair, vice chair, and clerk. And I open it up for nominations for chair.
I make a nomination for Chair Frederick Senna as Jane Aldine as a nomination. Sorry.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations?
Yes, that's all.
Are there any other nominations? Being none, is there any discussion? Otherwise, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All- And I will abstain. Thank you.
Okay, did I get your vote?
I said aye.
You said aye, thank you.
Because we're on Zoom, do we need roll call?
We do need a roll call vote, I guess.
And Christine, is Christine on there?
Yes, Christine is on there, but she can't hear us.
No, she can keep it, she's on you.
Oh, okay.
Christine, did you vote? She said she'd be on, but she might not be participating.
She's working on taxes, so.
Yeah.
I'm gonna call for a roll call vote, and any vote taken tonight will be by roll call. And I'm Jane Alden, the chair. John, you want to go next and we'll go around the room?
John Scanlon.
Frederick Senna.
Todd Odell.
Judy Tilton, aye.
Christine? We do have another member who's remote. Apparently she is having trouble with her audio. It's Christine Dembinsky.
Is she in chat? Because last time she was talking to us through chat when she couldn't.
Yeah, I'm not sure. The chat is up here.
You click the little bubble at the top with the red dot is.
Oh, yeah, it says.
Is she on there?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's what she did last time.
That's what she did the last time with us. Okay, the first,
If you see that up there, okay.
okay, first order of business is the public hearing continued. Oh, that's good. Vice chair. Are there any nominations? I'll nominate Judy Tilton. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any other nominations for vice chair? If not, all in favor?
You do a roll.
Yeah, I'm going to do roll. Jane Alden, yes.
John Scanlon, yes.
Frederick Senna, yes.
Judy Tilton, abstain.
Christine?
Can you hear me
Todd
now?
Odell.
We're voting for vice chair Judy Tilton, yay or nay?
Yay.
Okay, and Todd?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And the next is the secretary or clerk. Are there any nominations? Christine.
Christine, are you willing to serve again? I'll just nominate you. I nominate Christine.
And I'll second that. Are there any other nominations? All right, Alden, yes.
Tilton, yes.
Senna, yes.
Scanlon, yes. Odell, yes.
Christine?
Yes. Yes.
The bubble is red
Thank
again.
you.
Okay, now we can get down to business.
I'll put as much as Tuesday.
Thank you, President.
Yeah, no worries.
And I just like, we do have a guest in the audience who's going to be coming to see us soon, so welcome. You can find out how we do things, and obviously, very informative. Our first case is the public hearing continued at the site plan review for Sailview Inc. And they have requested that we continue their case until April 27th. Have a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion to do that. I'll make a motion to continue planning board case 20-05 until the, what was the date of that one? April 22nd? 27th, April 27th.
Tilton second.
We will have their approval.
Okay, all in favor? Alden, yes.
Senna, yes?
Tilton, yes.
Scanlon, yes. Odell, yes.
Christine?
Dembitsky, yes.
Okay. And the next is the change of use for Tilton Landscaping. Are they here yet?
See anybody here?
I guess Josh is coming. If you're online and you wish to participate, please identify yourself.
Here's somebody's on the stairs.
Or chat. Huh? Or type it in the chat.
Is anybody online from Tilton Landscaping? Are you here for the landscaping business? No. There's a couple of seats right there, or a couple of seats, I think it was here.
No one is here for Tilton Landscaping.
John, Anton, no. They want to, and you don't have to wait for them, I guess, but just so you see what you have, I guess there's used to be a landscaping business.
Correct.
Well, it's not a, they kind of misnamed it because it was a materials sales.
It wasn't until landscaping was material sales.
Material
Mhm.
sales.
Okay, and this is gonna be seasonal, I know that.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Renee?
Okay. Is everyone familiar with where this property is? Because other than adding a 12 by 20 shed, if we look at it, it's loam products are the same place, stone products are the same place, mulch is the same place. But it looks like it's the same type of business.
Exactly.
Yes.
So not a change of use.
I don't understand why they were coming in to change the use either.
If they
Well,
want-
I guess I was concerned at how long it had been unused as a landscaping business.
Not long. I think the real estate business was only there a couple of years, weren't they?
And the last question I had was from Brian Flanders for a retail operation. I think you have in your packet too. I don't think he ever did it. This was a while ago. Brian Flanders owned it anyway, so.
So these guys, the previous people never site planned. Oh, so that's why we need to.
So, we don't want to run into the wrong kind of material. Again, it is in the groundwater protection district. But since he's seasonal, I don't believe he would be, looking at doing any kind of old materials. He's just doing. And they, yeah, they're kind of going in with having been at least spoken to you and that you understand that it's going to be another material distributional landscaping type business. I don't think he's doing anything to the property because he's leasing. I don't think he's paving because.
I think it's in very good shape at the current time because the real estate agency was in there for quite a while.
I
Thank
do,
you.
Yeah, but it was never site planned as the other.
as landscaping.
They just have a site plan it for.
Yeah.
The materials business. Would that be a site plan instead of a change in?
Well, I mean, you want to pull site plan, you want to grandfather them because it was used that way before. I mean, again, it's all up to this board.
Well, it was never really site plan as the nursery was there. I don't believe. I know it wasn't since I was on the board, was it, Judy? I cannot. Yeah.
Yeah, that's site plan before, then they have to.
They site plan for the real estate agency. And we had some changes because there was an old septic. They had to do what's on.
Yeah, you can have them, second, do you need them to do it, engineering? You know, all of them, since they're just.
I personally do not think they need to do engineering. I don't know how the rest of the board, how does the rest of the board feel about that?
I agree with
Make sure though that they do have the driveway permit from DOT. That's a bad one.
I do have the conditions of approval from that, when Brian Flanders did it, this was approved, so.
That could be very touchy, and we also need to know what kind of signage they're gonna use.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's gonna do much of signage for seasonal.
Or did he, excuse me, did the former people ever get a sign permit for the sign that's there?
There's a sign there now. and
Yes,
it says Tilton Landscaping.
No, it says whatever this is, American, it's this company, the American Materials, yes.
Well, I don't think they ever did a sign, I think the sign is still there is Better Homes and Gardens, isn't it?
No,
It's not there anymore.
before that, it was, the land, the,
Nursery,
TLC.
but he never did,
Yeah.
and think he did anything with it, did he?
well, they had a sign up there.
Okay.
So we have to make sure
All
that.
right,
that
we'll have
sign
them come on the
permit-
27th with a little more formal, not engineered, but more formal in this, with the site plan application.
Yes.
And,
Is everybody on the board satisfied with that?
Yeah, just, some of the things that he has to watch out for is can't bulk store any fertilizers or anything outside, no salt.
Yeah.
Should be cautious of any runoff from any piles and stuff, that
Yes.
run in there.
The usual.
It looked pretty good. It blocks up there. You might have to add some kind of silt fencing or
Yeah, well,
something.
Leanne will review that with him when she talks to him about the site plan or what he'll need.
And also fuel storage on some.
I don't think he was doing any of that materially, sort of mulch and, but again, he can list it, he can approve what he lists or not approve it. I don't, he said he wasn't having salt or anything because he's not doing winter.
He might decide he wants to start some fertilizer, and that could really be an issue.
Christine, you have anything to add?
No, I don't.
Okay, Todd, do you have anything to add?
No, it sounds like it's going to be pretty much the same thing that was there before. And I would imagine if they were doing fertilizer, it's going to be all bagged and in pallets. But obviously, we'll cross that bridge when it comes to us.
And we can delineate things like that when they come in for the site plan. Okay, but, all right.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we get a site plan from, for Tilton Landscaping. Is there a second?
I'll second it. Senna,
Okay. All in favor? Alden, yes?
Senna, yes.
Yes.
Scanlon, yes.
Todd?
Yes, Odell.
Dembitsky, yes.
Okay, all right. All right, our next order of business is outdoor seating for 2 different restaurants. And before we start, there was some question about this. And I just wanted to briefly mention the fact that under COVID, if it's a temporary setup, what happens is that the customer goes to the Board of Selectmen, and the Board of Selectmen rules on it. In these 2 cases, we're talking about a permanent seating arrangement. And if it's a permanent seating arrangement, they need to come to the planning board. And that's why these two entities are coming to the planning board. And the first one that we have is, Kettlehead.
Well, the 99. Let's do
Oh,
99 first.
okay, the 99 first.
Yeah.
Are you with the 99? You're with Kettlehead. Is anyone from 99 here? We have in front of us an application.
So we've got a call from the tent company and from the 99 instead of corporate last year. So last year they had tables set up on the grass out front,
Mhm.
and they're looking for a tent to be set up there. If you look at we call it a change of use. It's not really a change of use. We'll use this form to get the information we needed. It says it's going to be a 20 by 40 tent on the front lawn, with 12 tables in it is what they're looking for, because they want to have lighting in there. You might want to consider, if you are going to approve this, what hours would allow them to be outside. I don't know what time the restaurant closes. It says 7 days a week, 11 to 10:30. I know they're not taking up any additional parking space. And I think it's till October.
What is the minimum distance that they have to be from the road? Do you know the setbacks?
On the setback. Well, this is a temporary structure, so it's not a foundation.
Well, first of all, I'd like to make a motion to bring
Oh, sorry.
the application to the planning board for review. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Alden.
Senate, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Alden, yes.
Senate, yes.
Odell, yes.
Yes.
Okay. You have the applications, so take a few minutes.
Did I get through?
Yes.
It's like 30 in mostly all the commercial zones. Front setback. I guess you call that the front, because it's front on
Yeah.
Laconia Road. This little map is just showing you where they want to put it. I don't think it's as big as they do that big circle on there.
I was worried about safety in terms of what the.
Yeah.
Plus the highway right away.
Yeah, exactly.
But
I
this
think they
says,
sit up a little bit from the highway, no?
Slightly,
A little
slightly.
bit?
Just a slight elevation.
but it says outdoor dining for the 2021 season. So that's not a permanent, that's
No, it's not.
for the 2021 season.
Yeah.
So why is it in front of us and not the select board?
Because I don't believe that the select board is making a decision for all restaurants in Tilton. I think they were reviewing, or the intent was that they review for the downtown area, because the downtown area is sidewalks, which are owned by the town, and so we're gonna put chairs on the sidewalks, and obviously the selectmen have to weigh in on that. All of the commercial sites, I think, fall under the planning board's purview, but if you wanna relinquish that responsibility to the selectmen to review all the sites for outdoor seating, I think I don't have a problem with that, but I didn't want, I know they haven't discussed the 99 specifically. I guess they would have to put in one of those applications and come before the select board, but they might get busy too, because, I think, Tilton Diner had outdoor seating last year, and I think everybody had outdoor seating last year, because COVID hit so quickly, and then everyone just did it, and I don't think anyone really responded to it or made them come in for any review. I don't believe each restaurant was reviewed the select board either. So I do know that town administrator is going to talk to the selectmen and clarify whether their decision on Thursday was just for downtown, which is what she understood it to be, was for all restaurants. But the planning board has the right to decide on commercial properties. It seems like, in the parking area, you might want to consider barriers, but are not, benefit people.
Well, I see two issues too. There's a structure of sorts in the tent that I think we need to to examine, and also lighting, different lighting, which I think one of the reasons it came to the planning board. Is that not correct?
I believe we discussed it last week with the selectmen, and we approved it last year, and we extended that under the code until December of 2021, and that was for everywhere, because we even approved the 99 last year.
For 10?
To the, whatever setup they had. Some of the other things are, is it should be approved by fire too,
Oh, yeah.
and all that, but it's just temporary due to COVID.
The selectmen already blanket.
It's kind of,
So everybody can do whatever they want, or they have to go to the select when they get an appointment, or
Last year.
we went to the selectmen all.
right, so if anybody went to the selectmen last year, like now Kettlehead's here, can they have outdoor seating? Oh, they're butters, so Kettlehead had outdoor seating last year,
I think they,
I don't know, if it wasn't, because that came in from my office, so. I know that Tilton Diner had seats in the parking lot,
Question.
I guess I need to know.
For Canada, are they doing permanent outdoor seating?
Well, they have still going to turn up, they're gonna come to the board with a site plan next week, because we have to notify butters.
Okay.
But
I also understood this was permanent.
Yeah, that's what,
this tent,
yeah.
But it says on their application.
I don't think in the winter, I think it's seasonal, I think
Well,
it's like,
well,
It doesn't
when I
say
say permanent, I mean every summer.
It says outdoor dining for the 2021 season.
Yeah, which would fall under the selectmen.
So at the end of the selectmen's code. If they wanted to do it further than that, they'd have to come back
you
to
know,
us.
if you're going to be adding 2 seats, according to our parking, you have to have, for every 2 feet, a parking space and stuff like that, just to revise site plan, or to set up a dining area.
so now, so you're saying Iron does need to come to the plan?
If the building- This was under the COVID, and it was extended till December of 2021.
Right, so they're allowed, so if they take it down in 2021, they don't have to come here for a site plan, is what you're saying?
And he said they were approved through December for 2021.
Yeah.
And this says for 2021.
Yeah, so it would be until next year.
Okay, so if the Tilton Planner calls me and says, can we put tables outside, I'm gonna say, talk to the selectmen, I'm not even gonna, right? Okay.
If it's COVID
Send
related,
it to them.
if it's COVID related.
Right, if it's COVID related, but I guess my question is, do they have to come before the board of selectmen, or they can just do it? What do I tell people when they call?
You should contact the board of selectmen,
Contact the board of selectmen, so all restaurants.
call their office.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
Take that one right off my back.
So
And so I'm gonna tell them that they can handle this, is that correct?
Verify that, you should check to verify that they did get approved and that they have a copy of
Actually, I'll
that.
tell them to contact us.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. All
And
right.
same thing with Kettlehead, I guess if they want permanent, they'll come for their site plan, but if they want to just set up the tables as they did last year.
See the board of
See the board of selectmen.
Yeah, okay.
It was under the COVID stuff, for the additional time was extended.
So how they were last year is what they can do.
All right.
So we're
And that's
not,
all we have.
so we're not seeing Kettlehead.
They-
No, Kettlehead goes to next week for their site plan, but I was told them I would check to see if he would allow, planning would allow them to do their seating
Okay,
until they get their approval for permanent, if they get.
okay, so if they see the board of selectmen,
For the butters to speak, or?
Yeah. we should
well,
publish.
no, because it's not permanent.
Next week,
Oh, okay, next week. Okay.
next week,
Yeah.
Kettlehead members of the public, yeah, they should be able to,
next week they'll be here for a permanent
members of the
patio,
public
which
should
would
be
be
seating,
seating.
speak at Kettlehead.
So tonight they were just here for,
They weren't really even here. I told them that I could put them on the agenda for the 27th because I didn't notice the butters. And of course, they said, well, you know, this is the season, we have to wait till May to be able to put chairs out. And I said, I don't know, I can ask the board if they'll allow you to put outdoor chairs, not permanent, like you did last year at this meeting, so they could get started early with just their seating, not the permanent seating. Not like-
Okay, we have the out front, that's.
Yes, I did get approved.
Yeah.
And
that's where they're towards, so nothing's changing for them.
yeah, they do, I'm sorry, so they want permanent patio. submitted a site plan, but they didn't submit it in time for this meeting to notify butters, so they're on the agenda for the 27th. But I said, as a courtesy, I would ask if you would allow them tonight, if you would say, okay, well, they can put tables, not permanent, just tables out there until they're, on the 27th, I explained that right? That's why I had in mind, I was just gonna ask why they have the seating, the temporary seating like they had last year, until they get to review their permanent seating. Two different things. I'm not gonna explain it, right, John?
Didn't they already come in front of us before? We said they couldn't do the patio because it was in the right of way or in the.
No, I think they talked to Leanne, and they were gonna come to us. Leanne told them that they couldn't do what they wanted to do. That wasn't any point. But I think now they've made some changes and want to come in with
A site
a site plan.
They were putting, they had started to excavate and they were gonna pour patio, and I said, we can't do that on the site plan. So I looked at the site plan was approved. The site plan I saw was approved for that, like you said, that little front piece.
Yeah.
Right.
So now they're gonna ask for different seating, so you can ask for different.
Doesn't that have to go in front of zoning first though, for a special exception? Because it's going to be too close to the lot line.
The patio?
Yeah.
It was paving, so paving doesn't,
It's all done.
paving's not done. I don't know, I stopped, they didn't know, they're not paving. They just put up there, and
So they're adding on to the patio they have.
they don't have a patio.
They don't
It's
have one.
paving. It's paving that comes up to the fence. Then the fence goes up beyond the building. They have a patio. Oh, front, yeah, correct, on the side of the grass. Correct, correct. Yep. And umbrellas. Right along that fence.
Setback.
Setback.
That's what I'm looking for. That's right.
They want to add additional seating?
I think they want I think where they have that seating, I think they want to put it. Rather than have grass.
But
Wouldn't
wouldn't
be a
that
parking
be,
problem.
wouldn't that be a special exception? Because it's in the setback.
Well, paving doesn't have a,
But
but seating does.
Yes.
So parking,
Right. And I don't think they're gonna take any new parking.
yeah, if we can't have.
Well, I think that's one of the things that when they come for a site plan that we need. to look at it.
Parking, and if he's going to add additional permanent seating,
Well, and they also claimed verbally that they were gonna take away tables on the inside and trade them off with the outside.
So those are all
Increasing their total
seating
seating.
site plan.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out if they have that special exception first.
I know.
Because
I can look at it again if they do all pull in.
Because I hate for them to waste their time here. If they come to us and we go, you're in the setback, go back there first. And have jumping them around board to board.
You've already talked, I believe me, Leanne, you've already talked to them about the setback issue.
Yeah. Well, if it's a permanent structure, but if it's paving, it's not permanent. Well, it's a permanent structure, but it's not structural paving. It's all in the setback, in parking. But I'll take a look at it, they can put a zone, we'll send a zone.
Okay.
Before they come here. All right, that's kind of.
Open it to the public. If you have any questions, you've heard that we're gonna have them come for us. They're gonna go to the selectmen, the temporary, and if they want something permanent, they have to come to the site plan. And we'll post that. Okay?
Madam Chair,
If, right, I'm gonna look at the setback for the paving.
Madam Chair,
Christine wants to see it.
point of order, Madam Chair.
Yes.
There's there's public that's listening to the Zoom meeting and we can't hear the audience.
All right, would you, okay, you wanna go up to would you like to express what you were saying to us on the microphone so they can hear you? And identify yourself, please.
Harvey Woodside, I'm in a putter to Kettle. And we were just talking about the parking and the permanent expansion out to outdoor seating. And I believe this was brought up 2 years ago. I think they looked for variance then and did not get it. So.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
All right, is there anyone else in the audience who would like to comment?
Yeah, and just for clarification on that, too, so you know, if they did come for a variance, I'll have to look back in the record, and if they didn't or denied, they can't come back with the same variance, can't keep asking for the same. Okay, so I'll check that, I'll check the record.
I believe if I recall, and I wouldn't swear to this, that they were talking about the seating on the side as opposed to in the front. And if now they're talking about going into the front, it would be a variance, but it would be a different one.
We'll look at it.
Okay. Thank you.
Patio inside.
Yeah. Okay, I have one piece of other business, and I ask that it be put in your packet. It's a letter that I signed and sent out per our conversation at the last meeting, for White Rock. You can just take a look at that. You have not heard from them, have you, Leanne?
No, it just went out though.
Okay. All right. And our order of business for the approval of minutes for the March 23rd meeting.
Actually, I have a couple.
Hey, Jane,
Yes.
I do have other business, so are you done other business, or
No,
are we gonna go?
Judy has other business as well, so
Okay,
you go ahead.
thank you,
Christine?
Judy. It's Christine Dembitsky. I'm bringing up, as your guest there in the audience, has purchased a land in my area, the lot of land at 247 Caliph.
Yes.
And when he purchased it, it was never disclosed, and I have, looked at all the documents and whatnot, that there was a driveway problem. So I'd like to see if anybody on the board was at these other meetings, or, when this was going on in regards to the driveway issue. I know one of the reasons for driveway permit is to see 400 feet on either side of you. And where I went over there to look, everybody would have to go look at the site, and he has no problem with us all going there. The way his lot faces, you can see 400 feet on Range Road, and then on Caliph, that area curves, and then you can see 400 feet on the other part of Caliph Hill Road. But I was not on the board at the time all this other stuff was going on in regards to the driveway problem. So if somebody that was there can enlighten us as to the issue and what we may be able to possibly do to rectify the situation.
Christine, can I ask a question? And the gentleman here, I didn't realize, are you the one that is right at the corner of Range Road and Caliph?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't know this gentleman was that gentleman, because I only spoke to him on the phone and have a face to him. I did go out and look at the site as well, and there is a site plan, an approved site plan for that subdivision, which specifically says it's a shared driveway. Caliph Hill is a state road, and the state will not allow another driveway. So the only place I think he was looking for a driveway is on Range Road. Range Road is a class 6 road, and it sits right on that corner. So, Christine, I'm not really sure what your question is. The site plan is pretty clear that it says it is a shared driveway, and it's approved that way. So, just can you clarify what your question or position is on that, and what you're seeking for more information? Because I can get the site plan to the planning board if that's what you're looking for.
So you're saying the state didn't allow the driveway, and I do know that he could possibly have access through my neighbor's yard, per the deed, but there's a huge amount of wetlands, and I would think the town would want to protect wetlands over, than having him be able to go through there, unless that's going to be what was required.
If you want, we can put on as other business for the next meeting, and I can pull that site plan, which I have, that shows the shared driveway and the requirements, and you can look at it and see the conditions of approval that were given at that time. It's probably the clearest way to do that, because that's what I pulled when I went and looked at it.
And that site plan, I'm sorry, Lan, what was the date of that site plan? Do you know? Was it like way back or?
No, it's not that old.
Okay.
I'm gonna say like, I've looked at so many different plans that I've seen. I'm gonna say like 16, 17, the latest, it might even be newer than that. I have to look at my notes on that, but
I can't picture where that is.
it's right with the big Caleb dog. So Pest House Road.
Yep.
Right. They coming down Caleb.
Oh, he's working in there.
Yes, he's been drinking.
You're the one we're like
Yes.
going to you if you didn't make the corner.
You got it exactly. That's road, that's always at the top.
Yeah, okay.
And I feel that road goes like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
State said, no, we're not doing another.
Yeah.
Curb cut. So this lot, when it was subdivided, I don't think it's that old, when it was subdivided, there's a driveway here, and he comes off this way, and that's how it's shown on the plan. No drive, no curb cut on Caleb, and this, he's right, this land like that right here. Range Road is class 6. and this
That's
is
why
like
we don't remember.
So you have to have somebody, I can't imagine what the driveway.
It was 2004 that site plan was done, so there's no one on the planning board at this point in time who was here in 2004. So that's why we don't have a recollection of that. So if you would pull that site plan and we can bring it into other business next time,
It's recorded on it.
okay?
I'm in agreement with that, and I'd invite the board to just go look at the property so everybody knows what they're looking at. So when we talk about it on the next meeting.
John and I were out there recently.
And did you lose the shoe too?
Yeah. Okay.
That might need some, because it's wetlands, to do that crossing, I have to go before the Conservation Commission.
But it's already been, I think I already did.
If there's no driveway there, I have to do it, has to go.
Yeah. I'll put it
There are
on.
things that we can do.
Okay, thank you. No, that's saying they're coming in 27. That's the first one. This thing.
Yeah, we need to be answered.
Okay. All right, Christine, thank you for bringing that up, and I'm sure Tyler's glad you did too. So,
Thank you.
and Judy, you have other business.
Well, I keep getting calls about the KRM thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to bring up what everybody was thinking.
Well, what about?
Well, when they came in front of us, 2017 or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and they said there was no change, because it was gonna be, they were bringing the trucks in at night. Yeah, but there was no discussion then of storing anything on the property or any of that.
I have the minutes. Did you look at the minutes?
Yeah, I watched the video
Oh, you
too,
did?
and all they said was, we're not changing anything, we're just gonna come in at night and go out with the trucks in the morning. But
Yeah, I
there was no
remember that meeting.
discussion about, pardon?
I was here for that meeting, I remember that, yeah.
So there's no discussion about,
That was in September 2017.
Yeah, and Leanne sent the minutes to us because we've been dealing with that.
Was Mike in? No, I wasn't here for that one. no.
Gee, microphone, so everybody can hear you.
geez, I got a big mouth, I think it's all good.
I thought you were telling me you couldn't hear me.
I was telling you to be quiet.
Oh.
Yes. Number 6 or number 5? Okay.
Okay.
I've got two now. Aye.
So on May 9th, under other business, and said he purchased 600 West Main Street and would like to operate a landscaping business. Says the board members discussed that such a proposed use would not constitute a change significant enough to require site plan review. And Jane Holly made a motion that the site plan review shall not be required to operate the proposed landscaping business. Second by Hiram, and was approved. So that was for the landscaping business. However, when I was over there, I did find, like you were saying, there was some material stored, whether or not they did remove that material from the site. Once I asked them, and I did discuss with him that it probably would be to his benefit at this point to come in for a full site plan review, because there's different things going on here now, like material storage and all that. And he said he'd be happy to prepare. He actually has an engineer, and is doing a survey and doing a site plan for him. As soon as he has that done, he's going to come before.
Fantastic.
So that would be great, and that'll get him a.
Yes, and that
Everyone can weigh in on what he's doing, what he's not doing, and then we'll get the square away with that. In the meantime, everything else has been resolved, as I said in my report. All the drainage was all set. He has approved that. The salt's been removed, and yeah, he's going to do his site. So, you know, I think last time I spoke to you, everyone remembered it. Spoken to you.
And I had a question about, well, he removed the salt now, but in the winter he's gonna need it again. And I spoke to Ian about that, and he understands he cannot store it there again.
Right, he's been told that that's not allowed, it's groundwater protection. He can ask when he comes for a site plan review, but as you know, it's in groundwater protection, it's not allowed, just like she asked when they wanted to do it. Unless he has some kind of specific container, I guess. But that again, that all comes to site plan review. He's not allowed to have any salt until he speaks with this board.
On the same lot, they also have a mechanics shop or repair shop.
Yeah.
And they actually, they got site plan review.
That has a site plan review, and I have the approval here and the conditions of approval. And there weren't any conditions. That was approved in 2017. The planning board, after public hearing, let's see. Proposal to operate a motor vehicles repair and maintenance facility. One of the conditions was a driveway permit shall be obtained from DOT and compliance with federal, state, and local regulations. He did, in the meeting, it does say that he had to come up with a spill management plan, which is in here. They provide us with a management plan, how they'll address that. And that's pretty much all it is. A DES report.
So I saw in there that he was required to fill in his drains in the garage.
Yeah, I saw that in the minutes.
Containers, secondary containers for oil that he has carrying purchase inside the trucks. Things like that. Did that
In the minutes, they weren't in the condition of approval. I did see that in the minutes.
I thought that was in there, and he's all it on his application.
Yeah, but it's a condition of approval, but it was part of the minutes. You're right. I did see that in the minutes.
So did that ever get checked?
In 2017, I don't know.
Do we have a record of it?
I'm sorry?
Do we have a record that he's complying that?
I don't have anything in this file that he was complying or not complying. I don't have. I mean, I can do that.
Just whatever the conditions were that he was going to do.
Yeah, well, again, the formal conditions are these from the planning board. I can check the minutes and read what of the September meeting. It's page 1713. Site plan review. Yeah. And this is the notice of decision. So we have to go through all this to see what they talked about, but we can do that. for the townhouse after under TOTS. I mean, I have the minutes right here. I can make a copy. We're talking about.
We'll do that.
Captain Dawson asked for confirmation that the stormwater flows to all sides of the parking area, and Mr. Marcotte said that it does. And this is almost entirely without hurting. Chairman Tilton asked if anyone in the public wishes to speak. Captain Dawson asked about fluid disposal. Mr. Marcotte said that he contacted Clean Harbor for fluid disposal. She asked about heating. He said that the heat that he heats with standard number 2 heating oil. They asked about the number of lifts. He said there were 2. He had 3 days. Ms. Alden cited confirmation that there would be no floor drains or grease pits. Mr. Marcotte said that there would be none. Is that what you were talking about? Mr. Marcotte said that he will install vacuum fixtures, adding that the existing fixtures froze and had been removed. And then Tilton said the public sewer extended through that area. There was a motion by Ms. Hardy to approve those 2 conditions that I stated, compliance with all state and the driveway approval, seconded by Ms. Alden, and was unanimously approved.
Oh, you may not. I'm wrong back there. Into that lot, they have a septic tank.
They do have septic systems. They have 2 septic systems for the business.
Now, when, and I know this isn't your thing because you just kind of got thrown into all this. Do we have a form that after these things are done, there's a compliance visit? Check like, yes, we did a compliance visit, and a letter goes in the file about the compliance visit, and a letter goes to the applicant?
I believe that the procedure that was used is that before any certificate of occupancy is issued, that they have to meet all compliance requirements that were in the notice of decision. So that's critical for compliance. If it's a complex project, but possibly something like a Honda dealership or some large project, and you can have a compliance meeting to review compliance, or we also have our engineer, Keith Norton, who we contract to check on site performance. We usually have a bond on a large project, on this bond that we hold until they meet all those requirements. So the large projects usually are sure you get it's done because of the bonding that you get. Smaller projects like these, I wouldn't say this is a large project, that the CO is your vehicle usually for compliance. If the board would like to set up a more formal procedure, we can do that.
Leanne,
I'm sorry?
Was that actually done? That's what my question was.
I mean, I can't speak for 5 years ago.
You weren't here.
Leanne, I spoke with you this afternoon about the fact that the planning board, and I know that Judy was on the planning board at the time that we did this. We had a form that was supposed to be filled out by the code enforcement officer and returned to us. We had a lot of resistance to doing that, and to my recollection, we got one form back. And Judy may correct me on that, but to my knowledge, that's all we got back. And I talked to you today to see if we can find that form, which at least would be the starting point as a checklist for compliance that could be taken when they go out with the occupancy.
Because you did do an inspection of the occupancy permits, so you
Yeah.
should be aware of any of the conditions.
I'm having a hard time hearing. It's all muffled, but what I'm getting is that something on the planning board that happened in 2017 we're discussing right now is non-compliant. I'm having a hard time understanding what's going on here.
Todd, go on. Todd.
No, I'm having a hard time understanding because like I said, it's very hard to hear, so I'm grabbing bits and pieces, but I keep hearing 2017 and I don't hear what the current issue is. I know that he's been working in the same spot since I've been here, and I'm just trying to get a grasp on that part of it.
There was an issue with the landscaping business recently. And as a result of that, DES was called in. But at the same time, Mr. Scanlon is questioning the oil repair service that is there. They came in at two separate times. The landscaping, so that they did not have to do a site plan. Now it appears that they're going to come back and do one. Mr. Marcus doesn't have a problem with that because the business has changed. And as far as the automotive repair, there was a site plan, and Mr. Scanlon is asking if anyone is checking if they are in compliance with those conditions.
So there's a couple of different businesses that are operating on the same lot. And our neighbors, others that complain. So if is the lot in compliance?
Well, I would say there's reason to say they're not in compliance. When they came for their approval for the truck repair, the landscaping business was already there and the board was aware of it because they had just in May allowed it. And the site plan they reviewed for the truck repair showed the landscaping business on that site plan. So when the approval was given for the truck repair, you have to assume that the board, which would have already ruled in May that they didn't need a change of use, understood that there were the two businesses there. There was never any discussion from the planning board that he would abandon one of his uses in the minutes. So I mean, to believe that he's not in compliance.
I just have to have a record, anybody who went out there and inspected it.
I would say that the CO is your record that they are in compliance.
So Leanne, I'm having a hard time hearing. Did you say that this was approved? Everything was approved at one point?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to ask.
My math probably is not like, yeah, everything was approved. The landscaping business was approved with no requirement for site plan, and then the truck repair business was approved as well with the planning board 3 months later. Is that your question, Tom?
Yes, thank you.
So if the compliance record is the question from Mr. Scanlon, I would have to say all commercial sites in Tilton are not in compliance because I don't have a document that says they're all in compliance.
I go through Lowe's and Home Depot all the time and see things that probably were not approved. This is the problem that I have. It just irritates me that we pick on people that are trying to do things right.
The CO, at the time the CO was issued, is the document that tells you that they were in compliance with whatever site plan approval they received at that time. At that one moment in time. Right, at that one moment in time, correct.
And the reason this has raised its ugly head recently is because there was a complaint from an abutter.
And is KRM aware of the complaint and aware of what might be the issue, and are they willing to rectify it?
They're very aware, and it has been rectified, and it has been to everyone's satisfaction.
Oh, they're still doing.
Perfect.
Site.
Right, they come back for the site plan because they just want to do things right, not because they got the approval to not the site plan. Yeah, they've been actually been very agreeable and have worked with us to rectify everything I've asked them to do. Usually within a day, they corrected everything.
And there's a letter on record from DES saying that it's been resolved. Are there any other questions? Comments?
I would like us as a board to have
I
for the
agree.
future.
I agree with that.
And I know I ran into a thing in the town when I went to sell my house that they said, oh no, you don't have approval to have a duplex. And I still had my paperwork the town gave me and handed it to them and said, yeah. So it's just another checks and balance for us.
I wholeheartedly
It
agree.
shouldn't be anything extra for you guys. It's just check, 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 yeah, okay. But then the property owner gets one. We put one in the file and, yeah, there's no question. We went out and said yes to each of these conditions.
Yeah, I understand, we can do that, and we can attach that compliance checklist to the certificate of occupancy when it's obtained. Remember, that's, again, like Janice said, that's one point in time. You know, this, had that been done 17 years ago, that doesn't mean that every business, as Todd said, there's businesses all over that could then change or not follow it. We don't check them every day, so, yeah, as long as you have a document that at some point in time they were compliant.
That day you were out there.
Yep. Okay, anything else?
Yeah. I was going to say, I need to pass this on. My phone's about to die, so.
Okay. All right. Now can we go to the minutes?
I was not here for the last meeting, so I'm going to drop off at this point. So I'll abstain on those minutes.
Thanks, Todd.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. I think one of the things, correction, a couple things. Well, a couple of things. It was Jane Alden who questioned the White Oak, the White Rock. I keep calling it White Oak. I must like that wood. Not John Scanlon.
Okay, Jamie, where are you on minutes?
Just a minute.
Okay, thanks.
It's on page, it's on the last, next to the last page.
Okay.
That, the last long page. 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs down.
Oh, about the shrubs?
Yeah,
The John Scanlon White Rock shrubs?
it was Jane Alden.
What was it, Jane?
And then right after that, no, at the bottom, Jane Alden said that she's no longer getting anything from Chuck as she did before. I guess basically what I said, I never got any follow-up. Participants food. You know what I'm saying?
No, say it again for me, please.
We sent people to the Conservation Commission, and I used to get a follow-up from Chuck as to what was decided, and that's what I'm no longer getting. It says here I'm no longer getting anything from Chuck, and I sort of, okay, I do get things from Chuck.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other corrections? John?
Yeah, on the thing where you crossed out my name, put your name,
Mhm.
it was also included that we would write a letter informing them.
Okay. And we didn't. And did you get that, Janice?
John said that You have a letter written or?
No, the only thing I
No,
said.
we said that we would send a letter, and we did. Okay,
We got another one somewhere here.
John has another one this minute.
That would be on the back of the first page. Either 1, 2, 3 up from the bottom. B. Callahan said that they are run and inspected monthly. And it should say, and the fire alarm has a battery backup and reports to rapid response. And reports to rapid response.
In reports?
Yes,
Yeah. Reports to rapid response is a company
Oh.
as opposed to a monitoring company.
Thank you.
any other corrections? Make a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
Shannon will second that.
All in favor, yes.
Shannon in favor, yes.
Tilton, yes.
Cameron, yes.
Jim Bisbee?
Dembitsky, abstain.
Okay. The only other thing I have is that I had asked, and we just read it in the minutes, about the sign on, next to, right before Rite Aid, the real estate building. They have a lighted sign that scrolls continually. And I said they were advertising other businesses and they're charging for it. Leanne, check that out. Right now, they are not advertising other businesses. They're only advertising what is in that building.
That's inaccurate. As of today, they had advertised your business.
Yes,
Yes,
it says, yeah.
Yeah,
I sent a letter to the business telling them that off-premise sign was not allowed. And they called and said they're not advertising off-premise sign, they're just advertising to come bring your business into their building and then you can advertise. I understand, and I read the sign again, I went back down and read it again. It does say advertise your business here, and she said they mean come lease from us and advertise your business here. I have no way of knowing whether that's true or not until I see an off-premise advertisement on the sign. I haven't seen it yet. So that letter was sent. Also, someone mentioned Molly's had a sign, off-premise sign at 12:31, which they were sent a letter as well, and they removed that sign is now removed.
okay, thank you. That's just what I wanted to say. We gotta keep an eye on that. And I also know someone who called to see what their rates were for advertising and they gave a rate. So if they're not doing all-premise advertising, I don't know why they're giving out rates. But just keep an eye on it when you go by there. I go up that way a lot. My drugstore is is a drugstore up that way, so I see it all the time.
I've been out there a lot lately too because KRM is down that way and I've been there for the past 2 years, so.
All right, is there any other business?
Walmart, I don't know if you ever, Sherwood Drive, the trees were all built with the one across the parking lot.
Yep.
And we do have one zone that specifically says about litter borne.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry.
Yes, so I didn't know who would enforce it. The Walmart, all on Sherwood Drive, there's all the litter from the parking lot that's been on for a while, including bags and trees, all the mugs, stuff. We have a litter ordinance that prohibits you when you're responsible for litter that blows off your property into adjacent property. Who enforces that?
I thought that what it was, I'll have to read it again. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I believe it was the health officer. Police that enforcement. I think, and I can pull up the ordinance, it's on the website, but I do believe it's not, I don't know, it says it's code enforcement. Pretty sure it's PD.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
police, constable, or health.
I think that's, but I don't quote me, I can double check it for next time.
So how would we get that?
You can forward a complaint to, I guess, Captain Austin as help, and, PD. They don't have a, is there a fine, a litter fine, should PD littering?
Yeah, you driven down there and drive. Oh,
But now the snow's just melted, so.
well,
just
it's
let
been
them
going
know,
for a couple
maybe.
Well, if you want to talk about litter, I think all you have to do is go outside to the employee parking lot and walk behind the fire department, and there's more litter along the railroad tracks behind there than I think I've ever seen. I wouldn't let my dog go pee down there, it's too dirty. So, I mean, that's right here, I don't know who's responsible for that, I guess we could call Boston and Maine, or I don't know who's doing all that littering. I'm sure it's not the fire department that's doing the littering.
It's just one of those things that it just seems over the past like 2 years, so it's really increased a lot, especially into the woods, the wetlands, trees. And that's one of those things where, you know, everybody, like the Allison's restaurant, period. I should pick that up and throw mine in.
I wonder if, you know, I said, I know it's down here, it's most the other day when I walked down, and I walked down this road, that's very much, but it was really bad, just, it's funny you mentioned it, because just the other day I was thinking that I also stopped at the rest stop on exit 18 on 93, and literally it is covered with litter at the parking lot that's owned by the city. I mean, it's just, you wouldn't believe it if you didn't see it. And I don't know if it's worse because of COVID and people are just throwing things out because they're, but, and maybe it's like Judy said, because it's spring, but trash is everywhere. Volunteers to go around, trash on our roads, or, but, we can hold it to Catherine and she can adjust it.
I'll talk to Catherine. I mean, they can send them businesses and let them know what the fines are for.
John, this may be best addressed to you. What is the, how long do they have to remove political signs after an election?
72 hours, I believe.
It's pretty quick. Yeah, there's a lot of those over there too.
They're all over town. I
Yeah.
was like, aren't they supposed to be gone by now?
Like I said, if there's a lot of litter, other people just contribute to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but the political signs are very definite. It's a state RSA.
The names all over it.
You see
Oh, yeah.
what's on the paper? Which reminds me of
That's all. Thanks for the info.
Can I make a motion?
And I, all in favor?
Yeah.
All yes?
Tilton, yes. Tilton, yes.
Okay.
Is it still with us?
Dembitsky, yes.
Thank you, Christine, for showing up.
You're welcome.
Travis, we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
You can turn off the recording, Janice.
Also.
Okay, the rest.